This video is brought to you by Repeat.gg. Repeat.gg is an online platform where you can get paid cash for good performance in your daily rank games. All you have to do is to sign up for an event on the platform. Stay to the end of the video and I'll announce my very own mid lane event on Repeat.gg.
Warning, the clips that are shown in this video are not meant to publicly shame any player. They are for educational purposes only. The tips and advice that are shown in this video are all made to help the community get a better understanding of the laning phase. The tips are not ranked based on difficulties but are catered to players of all range of ranks. GG easy mid.
Hey guys, this is DATOHLEONG and in this video, you will see another 10 things that you should know in the middle lane. If you haven't checked out my previous 10 things you should know in the mid lane, you should check that out first because in this video, I will be focusing on the more mechanical intensive part of the middle lane and the previous video is more of the basics. You can't learn the advanced if you don't know the basics, so go watch that video first. Creep blocking is the very first thing you do before you meet your opponent's mid laner, and I'm sure you don't want to screw it up. Having a good creep block can instantly get you level 2 and win you trades since you're on the high ground. You might think that achieving a perfect block will require an illegal script to assist you, but really you don't, and the block should look like this. Does that look like a script? I'm glad to tell you that there was no script involved and anyone can do that. So there are two things that you need to take note of to achieve this level of blocking. First of all, you want to turn on your auto clicker in your settings, because if you're not comfortable in spam clicking or if you don't have a good gaming mouse like myself, you are not going to achieve this. So if there's any gaming mouse sponsors out there, hook me up, thanks. Next, you want to start blocking at the right position. For the Radiant, you want to click on the middle of this tile before the creeps spawn. When you're on this position, there is a high chance that the creep will all go towards the left and will result in a perfect creep block. When you're using the auto clicker, you do not need to be spamming the stop command. You just have to be holding down your right mouse very close to the creep wave. Also, you want to hold down your F1 so that when you're blocking creeps, your camera will follow your hero as you block. For the Dire, you want to start blocking at the edge of the stairs. Creeps will spawn pretty close, so be ready and don't let the creeps walk past you. Have you ever lost a lane just because your mid lane got dewarded before the very first wave? Ward will give experience and go, and if your opponent hits level 2 before you, there is a chance that you get pressured really hard and you might even lose a lane because of it. If you plant your ward too early, there is a way that it can be scouted before the rune spawn. Your enemy can simply attempt to tank the tower in the fog of war, and if the tower hits, means there is a ward. Therefore, I would recommend planting a ward after the 30-second mark where most heroes are getting ready to contest the bounty runes. In the middle lane, counter picking is very common and sometimes you will find yourself playing a very hard matchup. The last thing that you want to happen in your lane is getting completely zoned away from your creep waves. This is where you want to create a rubber band effect in your lane such that the creep waves are moving aggressively back and forth, so you will get to farm under your tower no matter the matchup. To do this, you want to start by over blocking creeps or completely not blocking at all. When the first wave is on the tower, the waves will get pushed aggressively to the enemy tower, and the effects will continue as long as you spam off the creep waves quick enough. Runes is a very huge factor that can help you win or lose your lane. Some heroes like Puck or Queen of Pain have spells that can secure rune and get to the position earlier than you. If they get runes like double damage or illusion, they will secure a significant advantage, and it is very likely that you lose your lane from that. If you're playing against these rune advantage heroes, you want to be pre-guessing and camping the runes before spawn. If you're standing on top of the rune, there is no way they get it despite having the spells to be there first. But if the runes spawn on the other side, good luck to you. As mentioned earlier, an observer ward is gold and experience, and there is a simple way to tell if your opponents have a ward on their high ground. When your opponent's creep and your opposing mid laner is on the low ground, A-click him or her on your high ground, and if the creeps take aggro, that means that there is a ward on the high ground. Easy deward, easy gold, and easy experience. Solo killing the enemy mid laner is one of the most exciting part of playing mid. The best thing is, you get to type easy mid regardless of the result of the game. In most cases, there is no way you solo kill your opponents from full HP. This is where you want to trade spells and right clicks to bring your opponents low enough for you to kill them afterwards, meaning that you want to make two sets of trades, one for bringing them low and the other to finish off the kill. Of course, you want to make sure that your health is high enough such that your opponent doesn't kill you during the second wave of trade. Therefore, I highly recommend you make your trade, back off, salve up, then go back to finish off the kill. In low rank games, particularly 6k and below, I've realized that players don't take advantage of situations enough. If you're playing with a level advantage, meaning that if you hit level 2 before your opponents, you should be applying extreme pressure to your opponents with the extra spells you have given the right matchup, and force them out of the lane or miss some CS. This tiny detail may not look significant, but if you continue to press on the slightest experience advantage, you might force your opponents to salve up earlier than expected and end up winning future trades because of it. On my previous 10 things you should know about the mid lane video, I mentioned that you need to reward your high ground before night falls because most gank happens at night. Having a nighttime ward can either assist you in kills or save your ass from ganks. Now that the wards are free, you should take on one step further and purchase a sentry just to deward your opponent's nighttime vision. It doesn't matter if you don't find a ward, as long as you're aware that your opponent doesn't have vision on one side of the rune spawn, you will secure enough of an advantage to gank or contest their farm. But if your opponent's support comes in with 3 sentries to deward your whole river, then just report them for tryhard. One of the most underrated mid lane mechanics is camera positioning. Ideally, you want to see everything in your lane so you get to contest the last hit, at the same time harass your opponents with your free time. The first step to do that is to see clearly which creeps are low, which creeps are not, how many seconds you have to make trades happen. Thus, you should position your camera that you see all the creeps and you see your opponent's mid laner and the expected gank spots from your opponents. I use H-Pen as well as camera grip to make sure to get the best camera position, and you should try that too. Many mistakes that most mid laner makes when they make rotation is playing on luck instead of facts. Luck is where you go to another lane with no information just because you want to kill someone there. Ganking with facts means that you know that you are going to get something out of the rotation based on the information. For example, in this clip, I just took the meta tier 1 tower. My enemy mid laner TP'd bottom to fight. This means that their mid laner is ready to commit to a fight and will not have TP to get out. If I were to TP to the bottom tower, they can always retreat back to the bottom jungle. So since I've blinked, I'm going to be rotating and attacking them from the back. Do you know what's even better than making good rotations? A mid lane event right now. So here's how the event works. Register for an account and sign up for the event. In your ranked games, you have to be playing middle. Your KDA, damage dealt, and results of the game will give you a score. The average score of your top 3 games will give you a final score. So if you ask me, I would recommend you get involved in as many kills as possible to have a higher average score. Links are in the description. See you in the event.